What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the GoodeBaker podcast. I'm Nick Baker, and across from me, Shane Good.
Yo, what's up?
And we are here to talk to you about some video games. But first things first, I want to remind you guys to make sure you go and like, follow, and subscribe to all our social media, including our Facebook page and Instagram, as well as our YouTube channel, where we post our podcast in video form every week. Plus, find us on your mobile device on either Apple Music or Spotify. Just search GoodeBaker with an E, and you'll find us. No problem.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on with the show. What have you been playing this week, man?
Dude, all right, two things. I did something that I said I would never do again.
Oh, geez. Here we go again with
Yep.
this. I'll never do it again. I did it again.
I said I would never play the game again. I was done with it. The game was fucking garbage. Wasn't gonna reinstall it. And it's been a year and a half since I've played it.
Ooh, wow. We're getting the hype train going here. What is it?
I reinstalled Fortnite.
Oh, all right. So this is big. I'm intrigued now. What do you got for me? How is it?
It's a lot of fun right now. I used to play with a buddy of mine that I met through a different Discord, Fetchy or So Fetchy. You played with him a few times when we were all playing Fortnite and whatnot together. But he hit me up the other day and was like, "Bro, Fortnite's really fun again. Like, I know we haven't played it in forever. You should download it. Let's fuck around. Let's see if it's a good time or not."
Right.
And I did, and it was actually a lot of fun. And kind of ended up getting like the old 4 squad back together when I was playing Fortnite with him. So it was a lot of fun.
Damn, that's awesome. It's a heartwarming story. I love to hear it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So what's your heartwarming story this week?
Oh man, I got a lot, man. I got a lot on my plate, and I finished almost all of it, except my last thing. But I'll mention first things first. I beat Bloodborne, so that's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Finally got that off my plate, and damn, that game is it peters off towards the end. It's not nearly as hard at the end as it is in like the middle sections. Like the bosses in the middle are just punishing to no end, and I think it's just because you get stronger as you go, and naturally you kind of grind, and that's the name of the game, where you're constantly leveling up your endurance or whatever, so you can take more damage, and so that naturally the end of the game was kind of a little less challenging in that way. But the last boss was a pushover for me. I the wet nurse that you fight and the last part of the game is just like, it was snooze fest. I
Really
breezed right past. First try, I was like, oh man, I can't even believe this. I got up to the top of this horrible looking gothic tower, and I thought, nah, for sure I'm gonna be here for like 2 hours. It took me like 15 minutes. I was almost a little disappointed, but at the same time I was relieved. I was like, oh man, I'm finally done with this fucking game. I put it away. What's up?
I was gonna say, I actually saw that you platinumed it a couple days ago or yesterday or something like that. I sat down to watch something on the PS4 and literally saw that you got the platinum trophy for it.
No, not this one, but my next one. I platinumed Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, that's what it was for. I thought it was that.
Yeah, so I only had a couple of trophies left in Ghost of Tsushima. I think I talked about it when I finally finished the game. When you finish the game pretty much 100% of the way through the story, you're looking at about 80% of the trophies anyway. And
Yeah.
I did a lot of the side stuff during the campaign, so I was at like 95% of the trophies when I finished the game. So I went back and I got the last few trophies. I platinumed that. That was another thing that I got off my to-do list, because I whenever I'm that close to platinuming a game, I'm like, oh man, I got to finish it off. And the only one that I have still on that list of like, I'm at like 90% of the way through is Assassin's Creed 2, and I don't think I'm gonna go back for that one. So, but yeah, I platinumed that. I felt really great diving back into that game. The combat, I forgot how great it was. I mean, I don't know how, but it's amazing. We'll talk about a little bit more about Ghost of Tsushima and what's going on this month for that game in a minute. But I wanted to talk a little bit about Genshin Impact, the free mobile now / console and PC title that came out this week.
Yeah.
It's honestly better than I expected it to be. Have you seen anything on this?
No, but I have heard a ton about it just off of the like a lot of people that I play games with is like,
Mm.
"Hey, go download this game. It's really fucking fun."
So the idea here is that it's Breath of the Wild, and you just put an anime coat of paint on it, and that's an easy way to explain it. But there are a lot of things in this game that it's doing that Breath of the Wild just didn't do. Like weapon degradation isn't a part of it. You still have your stamina meter, and you have this glide ability, so you're gliding around. It's very much Breath of the Wild in those ways,
Mhm.
but it's a full fledged RPG in other ways where you're now swapping characters. You have characters that can do different elemental abilities, and they all play off of one another. So it kind of caught me off guard, and I ended up playing it for a few hours and having a really good time with it. I'm not sure how much more time I'll put into it because it does have that free to play trope where you're kind of chasing the dragon, where here you have so many currencies you don't really know what you want to do with all of it. There's
Mhm.
crystals here and gems here, and so I mean, if I really want to wrap my brain around it, I think I might play for a few more hours, but with the new consoles coming out and all the new games that are going to be coming out in the next few months, I don't think I'll really have time to dive in deep into this game. But it did catch me off guard, and I was pretty impressed with the actual fidelity that it has. I mean, I think that it's a really well made game. It's a game that I think a lot of people are really going to put a lot of time into and enjoy, especially on mobile and especially on console, because we don't really have a lot of these free to play RPGs on console. The first one I can think of off the top of my head would be Dauntless,
Mhm.
but that's at the same time it's in more of Fortnite kind of a vein, where this is a single player story that you can eventually play co-op with other people. So it is really interesting and really good for what it is. But on to the big topics of the week. Speaking of Ghost of Tsushima's co-op mode Legends is coming out next week, and the update will add, of course, the new mode, but it will also include new game plus, a slew of new trophies, and a few other, I think, in-game things that I didn't mention here. But the new mode was revealed to be an online cooperative multiplayer experience early, or I think in August.
Mhm.
Features two-player story missions, four-player survival missions, as well as a raid that will be released weeks following the launch. It also said to be a haunting and fantastical experience with locations and enemies inspired by Japanese folk tales and mythology, and an emphasis on cooperative combat and action. So, and this it's coming out on the 16th of October, so next Friday, I believe.
Wow, that's actually close too.
Yeah, I know. It snuck up on me, and I saw it pop the other day. That they're just reminding people, oh, hey, this is coming out. I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta get back on Ghost of Tsushima and platinum that, and I'm glad I did because they're adding new trophies, and I didn't want to like play through or try and find those new trophies. I wanted to get everything done and not have to go back for those to get the platinum. I don't know if that's going to be the case at all or not, but
I,
yeah, I'm pretty excited for this.
that's a good question though. Do you get the platinum after you like they add new trophies, or do you get a different trophy after you get all of the other trophies?
So as long as you get the trophy before any updates, like Final Fan, no, not Final Fantasy. Spider Man was a good example of. I think they added some trophies after I got the platinum, so I'm sitting at like 88% of the trophies completed, but I still have the platinum. So it's I'm gonna play that game again on PS5 and probably not platinum it then, but maybe I'll go for those new trophies and see what I can get off of that. But I'm super excited for those two games. But as far as this co-op mode goes, I think it's going to be really cool. Nothing like this in the original game. There's no even inkling toward like the main story missions. You kind of have a companion in some of them,
Hmm.
but they don't really feel designed to use those characters inclusively as far as like cooperatively. They're kind of off
Yeah.
doing their own thing, but the way they're making these sound is like it's going to be like Destiny, like you have to work with your teammate to to finish certain things, and
Interesting.
the 2 player story bits sound like they're going to be really full fledged. So really excited for that.
Yeah, no, that's actually really dope. Wow, I wonder. So I wonder if they'll be like you have to have people to play with, or if they're gonna kind of make it so you can play the DLC by yourself, but there are other people in the world that are also doing what you're doing, and it kind of just happens that you'll end up working together.
I
It,
think the way it sounds, I think is there's going to be matchmaking. So I think it's going to be set in stone where you're kind of like thrown into a part of the world rather than like kind of running around the open world.
gotcha.
So that way kind of sucks, but at the same time, the story missions in the original game were super enthralling. I thought that they were really good, like on their own little missions that you could like say in the same vein of like the old Metal Gear Solid missions where you're doing like these puzzle elements. They could be somewhat in the vein of that as well. So I'm really interested to see what they do with those, and especially the raid. I don't know if they said how many players that was going to be, but that's going to be really cool if it's like a whole siege, and it's a lot like For Honor, where you're kind of taking different points and you have to work together in order to move the front line forward or something like that.
That'd be very cool, actually. Yeah.
But that's it for Ghost of Tsushima for now. But on to our next hot topic, Need
Ha.
for Speed Hot for Speed. Yeah, you saw what I did there.
Ha.
Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remaster is coming on November 6th for Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, and the 13th for Switch. And they released a reveal trailer for this that makes the game look super awesome. I actually did enjoy. This is probably the last Need for Speed game that I bought and enjoyed quite thoroughly because
Hmm.
I think it was towards the early life of the PS4 that this came out, and um, now that they're kind of putting a new shiny coat of paint on it, I'm sure that this is probably going to come out on the next gen as well eventually. So I'm I can't wait to see all those beautiful ray traces all over the cars, and you know. But what did you think of the reveal trailer? It's kind of a cool set piece.
Yeah. So like, I I thought it was really cool. It's such a creative idea, like there's so many just like game footage trailers that are out there, and like clearly that all wasn't game footage. But if you're gonna not have a ton of footage from the like actual game, I think that made it so interesting that it was just kind of like ridiculous. Like I knew what was happening the entire time, but I was like, oh, I wonder if like you'll get to see the person who got the time. And then
Mm.
like at the very end, that's such a realistic like emotion of like actually doing it and then just like screaming to the heavens. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
feeling so like overjoyed. I thought of you and Ben immediately playing that new car game you guys have been playing. I'm like, oh man, this would be like perfect if they both got this.
Yo,
It's cross platform, so PC and console can play together. So I was like, ah yeah, Ben and Shane are gonna kill it on this.
oh, I definitely will be buying this one. This one is
Yeah,
like I say that about a lot of them, but this one specifically is definitely good. Uh, yeah, really quick too. I had one other thing to throw in here that we didn't put in the notes, and this is the perfect spot for it.
sure.
Bulger's Gate is coming out on Tuesday. Bulger's Gate 3.
Oh right, yeah, the early access. I almost looked
Mm-hmm.
at that, but I was like, early access. I don't know how
I
much there's gonna be, but what do you got there?
That's pretty much it because there really isn't too much to it other than the early access is coming out. I have a bunch of friends that are going to be playing it. I'm personally not going to. So come next week, I'll have a pretty good idea of like what the game entails, how it kind of flows, if it's more of like a write your own story type of thing, or if it's very adventure with other people.
Hmm.
I'll be excited to see like what it is, but so look forward to that in the coming week.
Yeah, yeah. I heard that they're going to have, I think it's like 13 or 14 playable races in
Yep.
that early access build, which is, I think that's ridiculous. If they're even going to have more in the regular game, I think that's
They're supposed to
That's
have
already topping what I expected from this game. So
Yeah, they're supposed to have all of the races essentially, and then the ability to custom your own race through probably some modding. And the fact that they're also going to let people pretty much mod the game however they see fit is going to be pretty insane. Um,
right, yeah, just start writing their own stories and kind of just creating their own D&D campaigns inside Baldur's Gate.
yeah, I mean, honestly, we've gotten an insane amount of just incredible content off of people that have done that. I mean, look at Gmod. Gmod was originally just Half-Life 2, but they took all the assets and they just let people basically do whatever the hell they wanted. And I mean that mode in general or engine, whatever you want to call it, has created so many different games and so many different things that like it's really smart for a company to do it. Obviously, there's risks involved, but I think that that community is going to be pretty good for it. So
Yeah, hell yeah, man! I'm really excited to actually get the final product from Baldur's Gate. How does early access work for that? How do you get into that? Is there a way, or do you have to have pre-ordered or?
I believe it is a pre-order, and I don't believe there's like the cutoff. I think it's just like you can go and pre-order it, and you get access to the early access. And I don't believe it's like you have to pre-order now. I think that like Wednesday comes and you see everybody playing it, and you want to play it, you could just go pre-order it and get access to it.
Damn, that's awesome. I love it when developers do that. But sticking with the PC side of things, because Baldur's Gate is very PC oriented.
Very
Uh,
PC.
Something from long ago, PC exclusive, I believe. Minecraft Steve is coming to Super Smash Brothers on October 13th. Did you get a chance to check out this trailer?
I did, and it was. I'm not. I so slight spoiler for anybody who hasn't seen the trailer. Go watch the trailer because it's 3 minutes long. It's actually really cool. Um, my favorite part of the entire trailer is when the Enderman kind of like comes into view, and Snake puts the box over his head, and it's just like the Enderman's eyes.
Yeah, it's
That's
just
such a
staring through
fucking
this slit in the box.
yes. I loved that. It was so good.
Yeah, yeah, man, it was super awesome. And honestly, I'm not like I'm obviously not a Minecraft guy. I think I've said that before, but I think that the inclusion of a character like Steve is just opening the door for so many more characters to be included in Super Smash Brothers in the future. So this really got me excited for what's to come. Like, I mean, now we can start thinking about like Crash Bandicoot and any of those PlayStation characters coming over, or even more PC and Microsoft owned characters coming over now. So I'm really excited to see what the future of Super Smash Brothers has. But the trailer for Minecraft Steve, it was so good. Like,
Yeah.
it just started off with like a straight up Super Smash match, and everybody's getting beat to hell, and then Mario flies off the screen, and you don't really know what's going on unless you've kind of seen bits and pieces of Minecraft uh, being played. I kind of remember vaguely like a when you're down really deep and you don't have any light, you're just in complete pitch black. But if you see like a torch off in the distance, you see those like little red glowy lights,
Mhm.
and it's like, yeah, you kind of get that vibe. And then all of a sudden, Steve just like smashes through the wall like a fucking just weird, I don't know, like Slender Man look. It was like creepy in a way, but yeah, it really introduced the character really well, and I think it kind of gave the vibe of Minecraft. And his moveset looks
Oh yeah.
really, really unique. So
Oh
I
yeah.
can see what like pro players do with this character.
I wonder. I mean, I'm sure it will be allowed in pro play, but his moves look kind of broken, to be honest.
Yeah, we'll have to see how they work that out and balance that, because it does seem like he can kind of just wall off certain areas with his building blocks, and that could be really, really beneficial for people that like to stage guard.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I mean, the terminology probably doesn't come up much for most people, but you can nerd pull, which is essentially just jumping on top of your own blocks to gain height.
Hmm.
which seems like it could also be extremely broken if somebody is using like a super powerful move. You just fucking nerd pull out of the way.
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
Like,
It's like, oh damn.
I haven't been trying to get you into that exact position for the past 5 minutes. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't, banking on that being my one shot kill or anything.
Yeah, exactly. So it's definitely it doesn't seem like it has very much offense though, which is something that I'll say like maybe it's just gonna be an extremely defensive character. I
Yeah,
mean,
and we've kind of seen that before too with now I'm drawing a blank on the character, but we've seen defensive characters before, and their move sets are almost exclusively based on like countering or shielding,
hmm
and dealing damage that way. But our next topic is so this one's kind of weird. The Spider-Man remaster for PS5 recasts its Peter Parker.
yeah.
So they recast the facial actor for Peter Parker in the game, and so the developer Brian Intihar went to Twitter, and this is the quote that he gave explaining as to why they did this. This is kind of just a little snippet I'm taking out of context, but yeah, I mean it's in context, not out of context. Uh, Quote, as we discussed the franchise's future moving forward on PS5, it quickly became apparent that delivering even more believable looking characters made finding a better facial match for actor Yuri Lowenthal, who's the voice actor for Peter Parker, who we all love as Peter, was a necessity. So
Mm,
I think that going forward, I don't think it's really going to matter for a lot of people that are just playing the games on the PS5. Like our good friend of the show, Ben, he didn't play the PS4 version of Spider-Man, so this will be his first experience with Spider-Man. And I don't think that the new face looks bad at all. I think it's just dramatically different. It
mm-hmm.
youth uh, infuses a bit of youth into the character. I think he looks a lot younger than the original Peter Parker face. So in that way, it's kind of strange. It like changes what you think of what his age could be. But as they describe, he's 23. So 23-year-olds can look like 35-year-olds, or they could look like 12-year-olds. I know that more
Yeah.
than anything.
Very true. Very true.
But yeah, what do you think of this? What do you think of the faces, the two faces? What do you like more?
So I think that I definitely see the new face fitting very well. I think it's a kind of a little bit of a strange move, just in general. But like I understand it if that makes sense. I mean, realistically, it seems like the new face fits really well, um, and it's gonna fit like the voice also fits the character very well from what I saw and heard. So
Hmm.
it'll be pretty interesting. Yet again, it's just a little bit strange to me that they would, after a game is already made, decide that they want to kind of go with a different actor for it.
Yeah, in this new age of remasters for games and games being upresed for new consoles or PC, it's really uncharted territory for these developers, like moving their franchises forward into a more graphically intensive setting. Like and when you get certain models into those new like ray tracing um, areas of lighting and all that, you kind of see some cracks start to form, and you're like, well, I mean, maybe this could be better, or maybe we could match the face a little bit better to the actor, so that we're not consistently drawing out the same old face, where we can kind of change it with how the character itself and how the voice will change over time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I can definitely see that they made this move um, not without taking everything into consideration. Like moving forward, this I think is going to be a really good move for them, just practically, because now they have somebody to work off of for future installments too. So,
Yeah, yeah, it
but
definitely
like
a
you
smart
said,
move.
really, really, really interesting. Anyway, just because we've never really seen anything like this before. I can't really think of another time where they've recast facial actor for a character mid franchise.
I I don't personally think I've ever heard of that.
Yeah, I mean it's weird. It's weird. I mean they've always like, um, yeah. I mean facial capture is relatively like it, as far as we know it now. It's relatively new. Like they always had like motion capture and stuff like that, but the way actors do it now, where they have all the capture dots on their face and they capture all the emotions and the lines and everything in their face, and
Mm.
um, sometimes actors' whole likeness is just in the fucking game. Death Stranding, there, Norman Reedus, his whole likeness is in that game. So it's in that way, it's really really interesting that they one wouldn't just go with the voice actor's face to begin with. I guess he's older, but at the same time, you could just kind of um, you know youngify him, if that's for lack of a better word.
Digitally make it slightly younger, like that
Yeah,
app that Instagram has.
I mean they're killing it with that app. We've seen it, but yeah, I don't know. I thought it was really interesting. I had to throw it in here because Twitter was on fire about it, so I figured why not. But on to our last topic of the week, and honestly, my favorite topic. Cyberpunk 2077 has gone gold in the midst of controversy that started a couple weeks ago, where the company stated that developers were working up to 6 days a week until launch to finish the damn thing. Um,
Damn.
they have finally gone gold. They've got the finished product ready and getting printed as we speak. I'm sure developers are still working on that day one patch and everything that's coming after, as far as DLC and balancing and all that. But yeah, we finally know it's coming.
Dude.
It's set in stone. There's no more delays. And kudos and thank you to all those developers that are really busting their ass out there. I know that uh, it's incredibly difficult to make a game, and I mean, I would never really understand what that entails. I would not even be able to begin to understand. But yeah, thank those guys because and gals, because man, I feel like this game is going to be the generation defining game, where now it's coming out at the very end and the very beginning of the previous and next generations. So
Mm. It's very it's kind of hitting that like that PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4 era with GTA. Like
yeah,
GTA came out right as that next gen was hitting and just as that other gen was ending. And I mean there were some hiccups, but it obviously turned out to be an incredible game that I mean, what how long has that game been out? Since 2014 or something?
yeah,
2013
yeah.
maybe?
I think 2013 might have been its initial launch, and then yeah, because 2014 was the launch of the PS4 and Xbox One, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yup, it's dude, it's been a crazy ride for GTA. So if it's even half of what people say it's gonna be a fantastic game.
I mean, with all the hype surrounding this game and all the marketing, like I sent you that Keanu Reeves trailer that they showed
Yeah.
during I think it was Monday Night Football last week. Super great trailer. If you haven't seen it, go check it out because it's one of the best video game trailers they've come out with this year. Um, yeah, man, I'm super super fucking pumped for this game, and it has every potential to be just as good and as have just as much longevity as GTA 5. We'll just have to see what that what the future holds for the futuristic Cyberpunk 2077. They had their whole map for Night City leak
Oh yeah, I saw that map.
this
It's
week.
fucking massive.
Yeah, it's incredibly big. So I mean, I just can't. I don't know. Every time I say I can't get more excited for this game, I just get more excited for this game. So I'm gonna just stop saying that. Obviously, Cyberpunk comes out next month on November 19th. Get fucking pumped, everybody, because I am right there with you.
It's
But
gonna be a good one, man.
yeah, that is everything we have for you this week. if you like this, you know, we got so many others, like 70, let's see, 74 other episodes available on YouTube and Apple and Spotify. So go check us out. Search GoodeBaker with an E, and you'll find us no problem. Until next week, peace.
Peace.